Hello friends, this is Jaya for the session of digitalization. Today I'm going to talk about the importance of digitalization with the scenario, example, importance, the definition, as well as with an interesting case study dealing with the digital cube. So my first slide comprises of the scenario where there are two friends as David is earning more. And the reason behind it is David is using a digitalization method to run his business on an online platform, whereas Bob is doing in a traditional way, which is in the physical form, taking all the approvals, booking all the services, taking the requests in a physical manner, which is taking more and more time. And nowadays, the people are not waiting for that much time. On the other hand, if we see that David is doing a lot more things for the customers, he is completing the service requests on time, and the customers are really happy because the service requests, etc. Whereas the Bob is really struggling to complete all the requests for the customer. So this is the reason behind when we look about what is the traditional method and digitalization method. So digitalization method is one of the most important tool when you decide to run the business on an online platform. Second slide would be comprising of what is traditional, what are the factors of traditional method and what are the factors of digital method and what is the difference between it. So in traditional method, we see it's a lot of time consumption, a lot of manpower is used, a very high costing, uh, very slow processing, and the risk of the errors are really very high. But when we look around in a digitalization method, there is a less time consumption, less manpower is used, very fast processing, very low costing, and plus the risk of the errors is very low. Nowadays, we want that the error percentage, the risk of error percentage should be very low. Nobody wants that error should happen in their business, which makes a further disturbance in their running online business platform. Third would be the slide comprising of the definition of digitalization. So when we talk about the definition of digitalization, it stands upon the four pillars. So the four pillars are technology, process, data, and organizational change. So when we talk about the technology, so technology, what in whatever the business module is running, is used to create new or modify the existing business processes which is running on an online platform so that it can meet the customer requirements in an very instant resolution. Means it makes the transparency, the efficiency for the customer service more and more when we are having that good technology which is creating or modifying the technology for the business process. Second comes the data, the importance of market analysis, in other words, or the compilation of the data for the particular brand or the product which the consumers are buying online platform. Now, the third factor comes around, that is automation process. When we talk about the automation process, which involves or which tries to create, yeah, or make the process simplify, which is a very complex one. So when it simplifies that complex business process, it makes the increasing transparency for the consumers as well as for the online business model. So that is why the automation is really important when we are looking around for automation process in a business module. Last would be the pillar would be the organizational change. When these three things comes into like technology, data, and the automation, when these three factors has came into, so it makes the organization to work very hard so that the business could meet the requirements or the request of the consumer instantly, or it gives the service very well, so that the consumer should not leave their website or their app for their products or their brand. So this is what the four pillars are really important when we are trying to define digitalization in today's world. Next comes the importance of digitalization. So when we are talking about the importance of digitalization, it comes into a three factors, which is first is the risk of the errors, which is more important. Then second would be the secure documents, and third would be the customer retention. So when we first talk about the risk of errors, you all know when we do any drafting of a proposal, contract, or letter, anything, but when we do a mistake or when we get some error in that particular page, we can rectify the same on an online platform because it really pops up to say that, okay, the sentence is not correct, or this line is not correct, or it is not going through. But when we are doing it in a traditional way, these advantages are not there. You have to make it again and again to make that draft correct. Second point would be the secure docs. Whatever the docs are with you, whether it is a market alliances or the compilation of the data or anything, they are really secured in your laptop, in your phone. If it is uh, if it is stolen, if it is crashed, it is lost somewhere, you can retrieve it and fix that error. But this is not there in a traditional form, because you can't get through it, because these things cannot be done in a traditional way of method. So that's the reason when we talk about digitalization, digitalization is really important tool when you are running the business on an online platform. Then the last and the least one, which is more important when you're running the business, is the consumer. You always know the consumers are the real target or the real things when we are consumer frequency would be increased, your profit for the business would be increased rapidly. So that is with your service, it makes your profit very good for your business. So these are the three pillars which comprises of when we talk about the digitalization in today's world. So as far as we know, whenever it is a school form or a digital signature or any of the renting of the properties or looking out something, so these forms are right now on an online platform where you can fill up the form, attach your documents, scan it, you can get through the processing work to be faster. But if you see in a traditional way, that is not really faster. It takes like 15 to 20 days or more than that, and won't won't happen that this service would be completed at that particular time, or you will get the service at your doorstep, because nowadays the people are always want the service to be at their doorstep. The processing would be fast. So these things comes with the digitalization method when we are applying in a business model. So this is why we regard that these things are really important when we are in a digitalization era. Second would be whenever you are doing a promotion or something, you could just do the promotion on a social media. Earlier, these stages were not there, or these pages were not on an online platform so that you can promote your things. But now it has been convenient for the business people that they can promote their brand, their company, they can tell about their company, they can give all the information regarding the product, company, everything. But it can be done in an instant way. But whereas in a traditional way, they will take time, and no person would be seeing with the pamphlets or reading them, because they are already going into the dustbin because nobody interested in those pamphlets nowadays, because everybody is really educated on an online platform, and they also want everything should be online so that they get all the information whatever they required about the products, about the education, about any job thing. So they can get all the information, all the clarity on an online platform. That's the reason when we are saying that we are in a digital age, that means a lot in a business part also. Now we'll comprises of the advantages. So till now you have understood with the scenario what is digitalization, what is the benefits, what are the uses. But now you have to understand what are the advantages. The real advantage also comprises with the it is a time saving, whatever business you are running. Second, it's a cost saving because everything is in the process in an online platform, so you don't have that much use costing over there. Accuracy when you are doing that on an online platform, so the risk of errors is very low and you can run your business very smoothly and in that part of time. Easy distribution whenever you want to distribute any information regarding your means a product or a company or a brand, you can do it easily without waiting for any person for printing it and delivering it to the people. You can do it instantly in the social media pages, which grabs the attention of the consumers. Then would be a secured, which I told, whenever your document is crash or it is lost or it has been stolen or it has done anything and you couldn't find that document, you can rectify, you can retrieve that document online platform. That is the main thing. Whenever you always keep so much data on an online platform, and that gives an opportunity that it should be secured, and it is a real advantage whether you are in a business, whether you are using as an individual. That makes a really uh, important thing when it is secured in an online platform. You don't have to worry about, you don't need to carry all those papers with you. They are safe at your laptop, and the plus point that you can retrieve it. And last point, the increase in profit that relates to the customer retention, which you all know, when you retain all the targeted or the potential customers for your business, that means it will increase your profit. The customer will come again and again for the purchase of the product or for any services for your website. That makes the profit increase, that makes your brand name more profitable. So these are the advantages, or you can say the key points, which makes the entire digitalization era so successful in both individual part but also in a business part much more. Last, we come to conclude with the case study, and there are the takeaways with this case study. Today, the case study is dealing with books. You all know everybody loves book, and earlier there was a traditional way where uh, you used to buy or rent those books from a library. You all consider that would be uh, the most, I think it's a time consuming to find that particular book in a traditional way and you get that author or something like that. So it becomes a hell lot of time consumption when we are talking about when you're doing searching for a book or renting a book. It can be a novel, it can be a textbook, it can be anything. For information, there are number of authors, there are number of topics, there are number of things are there which you can see it in a book. You can grab all the information. So when you are in a digital age, what I wanted to say that now it has become convenient when we are talking about a library, and an online library system becomes makes it easy for, because it makes the things really easy. So there are some key points which I wanted to tell, that when we are talking about these things in a library books, so QR code come into that parallel line when we are talking about to understand that how the QR code works in this particular library system. So there are some points which I wanted to discuss, even it's a takeaway from this particular session. So first would be the QR code uses in the library, making in a book search easy, which makes it easy for all the consumer, for all the readers, so that they can access to the library catalog to get the link that how many books are there, what are the authors are in there, what type of novels are kept, or what the information about the books are there. So the entire catalog is linked with the QR code, which makes that easier for the readers to access. Second would be the instant access to the reading material. When you are linking that QR code, you can get an instant, very quick access to read the entire material, which is you can take it as a ebook, or whether you can take it as a, and nowadays the Kindle is there, you can buy those books. Even you can have the audiobooks itself, you can listen it and understand what is the topic or what is the material in it. So this QR code helps in such a way that you can have an easy access to both the library catalog plus the reading material. Third, when you are working on an online library business, so you can efficiently make it happen. How can you promote your library? That is always a question when you are running a business and online, and it is a library. So library is a well versed where there are number of books are kept, and the readers, they are reading those books about different topics, different authors, or different materials, and if they are doing some research, so they are very enthusiastic about the libraries. So how can you promote your library? That is the one question which comes, and I can say that it can be done through one single QR code by linking to your social media pages, so that it makes it easier to people follow the link and they can come to your library, they can access the entire thing, so they have a very clear picture when I'm talking about it. So they don't have to stand in a queue to understand how it works, how it deals. So you can get all the information on those social media, and that is which is more important when you are trying to promote your brand. So that is what in the earlier session with the digitalization, which I told, when you providing it as an easy distribution to the readers, or you can say it as the customers, and that they can get an easy access of the information for the particular brand or a company. And that is where we can take a ground of library, where the person can get through the easy access through that social media. He can understand where it is, where it is situated, how many books are there. So many things are there about that library that can be distributed in that social media link with the simple QR code. So one more point would be a takeaway, that when you are running a library business, how can you make that contact uh, to be given to your readers, your consumers? So there is a one point contact where you can do as a virtual card, where the person doesn't have to type manually, can easily, as soon as they scan on the through their phone, that number is to be effortlessly saved in their mobile phone. That makes an easy thing, that makes the point to grow that business in library, because the people will think, okay, this is what is very the instant or a very quick access to this particular library, because there are many things in this online library system where they don't have to sit in a queue and wait for their services to be done, or to understand what is the features of it. Then you can, when these things are there, so there is an interconnected, how can you engage your readers in the library? So it's a simple thing. When the readers are sitting in the library, you how can you engage them? It can be engaged by doing simply a quiz with the readers regarding their topics, or regarding the particular author, regarding a particular novel. So there the customers or the readers are conversant with you, and it makes an regular engagement with you. Okay, these are the books, this is the quiz. So whenever I go to that particular library, my day is relaxed because I have a relaxful time over there. I can read books. They are having activities over there. This is how the customer engagement would be there when you are running an online business. So these are the primary or the factors, important factors when you're dealing with an online library system with a QR code. So last would be that the main point, when the consumer comes, read your books, each and everything. So you can, with every book or even in a library website, so you all know that you can attach a QR code also to there, where the customer or the reader can give a feedback for the book or the library. That would be really important to you, because you can understand what are the things to be improvised in your library, what are the features to be improvised, what are the factors should be there. That is really important thing which you all need to understand. So in these takeaways, you can make simple things when you're running a business on a library online, where you can link a QR code with your library catalog. Second, you can provide the instant access to the reading material. Third, you can link your to promote your library. Fourth, would you can connect that QR code with the contact details of the library, and you can make simple QR code engaging the readers in your library. And last would be getting a feedback from them. That is what we called in today's world a digital queue, where you can get the entire survey of the consumer or the reader for your library. So that is a customer journey, how they like the books, or they want to rent the books, or they like the environment of that particular library or not. So these survey, you can get the survey is really important because it catches the real time, and it catches that how you can improvise your library more and more, so that the readers should come to you more and more and get the books, which increase your profits in your business. So these are the points when you're running a library on an online platform, which is really important takeaways with this session, which I think is really important, because a simple QR code can be linked to many things, which make your library more and more efficient for the readers. More transparency, more profits you can get. So simply, I'm representing the company of Uxlivinglab, where we are dealing with the digital queue, and where we are dealing with mostly with the customer insights as well as for the feedback. So our company is a market research consultant, and we will try to help you out to understand how your business is running, where it is standing in today's market situation, and this is the main thing where we can get you the customer insight and feedback, because while speaking to the customer day in day out, we can understand where your product is standing, where your brand is standing at this market current situation. So you can understand how to improvise, and even we can give you some ideas to innovate it or improvise your business, so that you can earn more and more profits, and even that can be run smoothly. This is what our company does with a simple digital queue, and it's a very simple to register. When you go to the app or a website, it's just ask for your name and things, name, your email ID, and it the digital queue is being created for you. You don't have to stand for it or wait for your service to be done. You can just scan it, and if you want an appointment with us to know about our products, know about our pricing, know about how we function, how it works, so this would be a website. I would be uh, sharing you the most QR code and then you will understand how it features work, how the things work in our site. And even if you have any questions related to it, just let me know so that I can book an appointment in the calendar link and you can understand how our company works at this level. So this is what our company is, because the main thing, the customer feedback is there through this QR code, and we can give you the points where you can improvise your business. So this is what our company does. If you want anything, any information about the company, about the services, about the feedback, about how it works, how it functions, just let me know on this particular inbox. You can comment on it and I can let you know the entire thing. Thank you so much for joining this session.